The News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. The U.S. Coast Guard confirms that the 5 people aboard a missing submersible looking to explore the wreckage of Titanic have died. An unmanned Canadian deep-sea robot discovered Titan's wreckage on Thursday, 1,600 feet from Titanic's bow, 4 kilometers below the surface. According to authorities, the debris field is consistent with a catastrophic implosion. On Sunday, the submersible lost contact with its support ship about an hour and 45 minutes into what should have been a 2-hour descent. Those aboard include British billionaire Hamish Harding, Pakistani-born business magnate Shahzada Dawood, his 19-year-old son Suleiman, as well as a French oceanographer and Titanic expert Paul-Henri Nargioli, and pilot and OceanGate chief executive Stockton Rush.
An ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. The debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
After this harrowing catastrophe, the question now is, should expeditions to the Titanic cease? One scientist says, yes, for now. According to scientist and journalist Michael Gillen, all trips to the site should be stopped until the cause of the Titan submersible's failure is determined. Gillen himself is a Titanic expedition survivor in 2000 after his submersible was trapped in one of the sunken ship's propeller. However, Gillen is not keen on a permanent ban on Titanic trips, saying there's a lot to learn in the wreckage.
We need to put a stop to all trips to the Titanic. We need to stop, pause, take a deep breath, and ask people this question. Why do you want to go to the Titanic, and how do you get there safely? I'm not so sure as a scientist that I'm willing to go so far as to say there should be an outright permanent ban, because there is science to be learned down there.
Whether it's billionaires under the sea or migrants in a shipwreck, the United Nations emphasizes that all lives are precious. Aside from the saga of the missing Titan submersible, attention is also being paid to the ship carrying hundreds of migrants that capsized off Greece. The official death toll from the accident in Europe last week stands at 82, with the number of survivors at 104. The UN emphasized the humanist view when asked about the disparity of the two tragedies.
Well, all lives are precious. I think all efforts must be made to save the lives of the people on this submersible. But by the same token, and I did say something similar on this yesterday, all of those who are risking their lives at sea must be protected. Any measures to protect people's lives, whether they're on a ship being piloted by human smugglers, or whether they're on a submersible device such as this one, all of them must be cared for.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. U.S. President Joe Biden downplays his comment about Chinese President Xi Jinping being a dictator. Biden made the comment following U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken's talks with President Xi over easing tensions. Speaking before the press, Biden said he doesn't believe his comment undermined relations between the two countries.
Secretary Blinken had a great trip to China. I expect to be meeting with President Xi sometime in the future, in the near term, and I don't think it's had any real consequence.
Ukrainian missiles hit one of the few bridges linking the Crimea Peninsula with Ukraine. The bridge is one of a handful of access roads to Crimea, which a narrow isthmus links to the Ukrainian mainland. It is beyond range of the rockets Ukraine has used for a year, but within reach of newly deployed weapons. Ukraine has been attacking Russian supply lines to disrupt Moscow's defense of occupied territory in the south, where Kyiv is in the early stages of its ambitious counteroffensive of the 16-month-old war. Ukraine claimed to have recaptured 8 villages so far, but its troops have yet to reach the main Russian defensive lines. The Dutch government considers banning cruelly overbred pets. A new law under consideration in the Netherlands would outlaw possessing and advertising of pets with attributes that cause medical issues. That includes features like overly short snouts, which animal rights activists say are cruel. The Dutch Agriculture Ministry has drafted a legal change for the ban after a transitional period during which owners of overbred pets will be exempt. It is not yet clear how the law would be enforced or what the penalties would be. And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.